what somebody made you do. Not even the devil. I know Flip Wilson years ago had a little saying, the devil made me do it. Now, the devil didn't make you do that. You did it because you want to do it. The devil just created an opportunity for you to do what you want to do. Yeah, I get it. It says you put off. You put off the old nature. You put on the new nature. We now cannot keep treating God in a manner that's importune. Can't keep begging and asking and pleading with him to do what he has already done. Can somebody just give God a hand clap of praise right there as well? All right, so now, so the idea we have, so let's just finish this now. So read this with me, please. Believers have the authority, dominion, might, power, and strength to overcome any and all addictions, afflictions, or associations through Christ. Please give God a hand. There's no addiction, there's no affliction, there's no association that we cannot overcome through Christ. If people choose to be overcome by addiction, that's a choice they make. If people choose to be overcome by affliction, that's a choice they make. It says, I'm strengthened with all might to be able now to overcome every addiction, every affliction, and every association through Christ. Can you give God one more hand clap of praise in Jesus' name? So the L was what again here? The L was what? Love. What was the O? Overcome. Here's our V right here. You know what V got. The alternate has to be victory. Because I'm overcome. Because I've overcome the guy, it's time to walk in victory. Anybody here ready to start walking in some victory that God has? I said, anybody ready to walk in the victory that God has? I said, anybody ready to walk in the victory that God has? Now let's be clear about this. We can overcome all of these things, all the things we talked about already. We can overcome the addictions. We can overcome the afflictions. Let me be clear. Does not mean addictions will not come. Does not mean afflictions will not come. Does not mean associations will not come. But through Christ, I can overcome it all. Isn't that good to know? So now I have this victory. Now I have this victory. So now I want to start off right here. This is this idea of victory. Colossians 1, I think, does one of the best jobs of summarizing this question right here. What is the whole point of preaching and teaching? It does a wonderful job. This is what it says. Please write this verse down. Verse 28, it says, every man presented perfect in Christ Jesus. I love that verse. Paul says the point of his teaching and the point of his preaching is to ensure that every man is presented perfect in Christ Jesus. Our challenge has been as believers, we thought when we saw the word perfect, it meant never having sin or blemish. Perfect means to be complete. So the word is preached and the word is taught. So now we can be complete in him. So I'm not going to rely on things out there to do the only things God can do for me. I'm not going to try to get my validation from out there because I got my validation in here. And now the whole point is to make sure that every person is presented perfect in Christ Jesus. Isn't that beautiful? In fact, let's read this verse together in its entirety. Let's read it. This is from Colossians 1, 26 and 27, King James. Let's read that together. To whom God would make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Verse 28, whom we preach, warning every man, and teaching every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man perfect in Christ Jesus. The whole point of teaching and the whole point of preaching is to make sure now we are presented perfect in Christ Jesus. That I don't need stuff out there to help fill the void that only God can fill. I don't need to have accolations out there because I trust who God is as well. Now let's talk about that. So how do believers overcome all these things, all these obstacles and everything? Please read this with me. Believers now have what? New what? Power. New what? Purpose. New what? And the way we overcome is because now my thoughts and my plans and my purposes and more importantly my power have now changed, and now I have the power and the purposes and the plans and pursuits of God. So last week we talked about this. Last week we talked about 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. It talked about, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, we are new creations. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Read this together with me. I am a new creation. So now, because I'm a new creation, I can put off the old man and put on the new man. If I choose to go back and act like the old man, it's because I made a choice to do it. And I can choose to do that now. Now, if you can read this in this corner now, read this up in the Living Bible, when it says, when somebody, you can read that together. When somebody becomes a Christian, he becomes a brand new person inside. He is not the same anymore. A new life has begun. You ought to give God another hand. God will praise just for that. In Jesus' name. All things are new. All things are new. So here's what happens now. So here are some things that we have. I want you to write down, if you would, right next to this section. Here are things that happen very quickly that we demonstrate because we are now new creations in Christ. We now are reconciled and we walk in victory. First of all, faithfulness. Colossians 1:2. Faithfulness, faithfulness, faithfulness. God is faithful. God. How many of us know God is a faithful God? I said, how many know God is a faithful God? I said, how many know God is a faithful God? Now read this with me right here. Faithful is he who calls you. Faithful he also who will bring to pass. What is that? God would not call you to something that he will not help you go through. Come on, somebody. That God is faithful who called you. And God is faithful to bring to pass. He's not going to call you, send you, allow you to go someplace. He's not going to bring you through. He's not going to have you in the middle and say, oh, I'm out. He's going to, whatever he brought you to, he's going to make sure he brings you through. Because faithful is he who called you. And faithful is who's going to bring to pass. Now, please read this right with me. God's faithfulness means that God will always do what he said and fulfill what he promised. Oh, you got to get this right here. You got to get this one. God's faithfulness is stronger than our unfaithfulness and our infidelities. Despite my unfaithfulness, God is still faithful. Isn't that good to know? God is a wonderful God. Now, so faithfulness, this ought to be demonstrated in life for believers. What does faithfulness mean? It's behavior that's what? Trustworthy and loyal. I love it. Get to the next one. And the ability. Can you believe when your body is racked with pain that you're already healed? Can you believe when you see lack all around you that God has already made a way out of no way? Can you believe when it feels like you're by yourself that he's a friend that's just close to a brother? Can you believe when you're in the valley that you already have victory? Can you believe in the midst of your trouble you already have triumph? Can you believe that if I don't see it, I still have it? That's what faithfulness is all about. Faithfulness is I got the ability, and I'm going to exercise my ability to believe. Mother Teresa said this. Please read this. We are not called what? Not called. We're called upon not to be successful, but to be faithful. All right, so I just tell you this last about faithful. Being faithful means you trust God for the outcome. I'm going to be positioned, going to pray, going to praise, and God, I thank you've already taken care of it. It's not the outcome I wanted, but God, you've already taken care of it. I trust you, I believe you. That's what faithfulness is all about. So first of all, we have faithfulness. Secondly, if you write this down, we have fruitfulness. Fruitfulness. It's time for some believers to start producing some good fruit. Amen. Sometimes we've been producing some rotten fruit. It's time for believers to produce some good fruit. Be fruitful and multiply. I now have knowledge and revelation from God. I got to tell somebody to multiply. I now know how I made it over. I got to tell somebody so they can make it over too. I got to be fruitful and multiply. This idea of fruitful. That's why I want to go with this one. This is the idea of fruitful. We'll spend some more time on this later. But being fruitful may not be serious. I can say it word. Being fruitful. Bearing fruit in every good work. What's the first thing it says? That we do what? that people are won to Christ. If I'm going to go back and be fruitful, I got to tell somebody about how good God is. I got to, amen, somebody. Has God been good to anybody in here? We got to tell somebody about how wonderful God is. Now be clear. Just because we tell them doesn't mean they automatically accept it. But God has called us to plant the seed. Somebody else may water, but God's going to give the increase. Now, amen, somebody. Don't give up. God didn't give up on us, and we can't give up on them. Then we go back in and we win people to Christ. Watch next. I love this one. Part of being fruitful, we make sure that other Christians are strengthened. That's why you can't get this over Periscope and YouTube. We gotta be here. You gotta be here, coming to the door all late, and then Sister Cynthia hug you to let you know that God is still wonderful and that God is still awesome. That we are here because you have no idea what somebody who came through those doors or this door went through. But God has brought you through. So you can now hug them and embrace them and say, God brought me through it. I know God will do you as well. We are there. That's how you produce some good work right there and some good fruit. And one other thing we have right here, I love this, from Ephesians 5:9, victory over sin or a bad habit. Sin and bad habits should not have victory over believers. Yes. I said sin and bad habits should not have victory over believers. I said sin and bad habits should not have victory over believers. Why? Because we are overcome and we also have victory as well. Let me go back in now. So here's the thing. Right? Read this last one about fruitful. God does not want us to be busy. He wants us to be. See, we have now confused busyness with fruitfulness. Folk can be busy. I'll tell you what happened one time when Uncle Ryan used to have his guitar, he left his guitar here. I came in here and played. I was busy. I wasn't fruitful because I couldn't play. Now again, that God is doing activity does not mean you're fruitful. It is saying this is where God wants me to be. And this is where God is sending me. And I'm going to go out here and honor God in this place. That's being fruitful instead of just being busy. So now, so let's go back. Let's go back. Now, the last one we have right here by way. This is good here. This is what I want to get to. Let's read this together. If my life is fruitless, it doesn't matter who praises me. And if my life is fruitful, it doesn't matter who criticizes me. All right, that's good right there. That's some good teaching right there. If you're not producing any fruit, praises don't even matter. But if you are producing fruit, criticism shouldn't stop you. Because somebody's always trying to stop you from doing what God wants you to do. And you keep on being fruitful. You keep on multiplying. You keep on talking about how good God is. And at that point, watch God get glory and honor in your life. If my life is fruitless, doesn't matter how much praise. But if it's fruitful, it does not matter about the criticism as well. And lastly, we had faithfulness. We had also fruitfulness, and lastly now fullness. I just love this one. From Colossians 1:19. Fullness. This is all I want to talk about right here. Please read this with me about fullness. You will never know the fullness of Christ until you know the emptiness of everything else but Christ. Come on, somebody. You will never know the fullness of Christ until you know the emptiness of everything else but Christ. Come on, one more time. You will never know the fullness of Christ until you know the emptiness of everything else. What does that mean? That means that sometimes people have been removed out of our lives because at that point they're not bringing fruitfulness, and we're putting all our time into this and all our time into that and all our time into this. And God said, "God, I want you to put your time into me. And let everything else be considered as emptiness as well there." So the fullness of Christ. So the last thing I want to share with us very quickly as we finish this up, the E. So with L was what again? Love. The O? Overcome. The V? You know the E already. Embracing and enjoying life. Embracing and enjoying life. Embracing and enjoying life. And please read Romans 12:2 with me one more time for Message Translation. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him. So here's the last D we have right here. I want you to go back and write this down. Colossians 1:9. Desire that you might be filled